Thanks everybody for joining us. We're here today to discuss Advanced Energy SystemVision program and our newly adopted remote inspection process. I want to introduce Tommy Blair this morning and let him discuss a little bit about the SystemVision program. Hey, good morning, Tommy. How are you?
Hey, good morning. Thanks. Yeah, I'm Tommy Blair. I've been with Advanced Energy for about 2 years, working on the SystemVision program as a technical specialist. Yeah, really excited to be joining you, Michael. How you doing today?
Doing well. Making lemonade out of lemons today, and
Nice.
trying to keep everybody happy and safe. Yeah, so just want to discuss our Advanced Energy's SystemVision program and how we have been able to implement our remote inspection process and what the impact of that has been.
Yeah, happy to do so. So just a quick overview for those of you who are less familiar with SystemVision. Next year will be our 20th year of managing the program. We're really excited about that. We are closing in on 6,000 certified homes, something we're very proud of, and yeah, it has a lot of statewide impact. We're working through some really challenging times, but we think we've come up with some safer workarounds to help move the program forward. We realize that the construction industry is an essential service at this time, and with that comes a lot of challenges. So we've created a process that we hope that you guys will help us in terms of vetting and improving to make sure that folks who need to are able to move into their homes, throughout the COVID-19 epidemic.
Yeah, and I think that's definitely the biggest topic of discussion with this. As you mentioned, affordable housing is one thing, but being able to have these people still able to get into a safe living environment so that they can safely quarantine away from the situation they may be in a multifamily or shelter type situation. We want to keep from holding any of the process up. So that's a great thing. And since SystemVision is Advanced Energy's program, we were able to make some of these decisions ourselves. And I do want to give kudos to Lisa Manuel. She's our project manager over SystemVision, and she was able to grease the wheels and keep the remote inspection process moving through all of our stakeholders, Housing Finance Association, and our upper management to make sure that we were going by the book and we were able to implement this quickly. So I just want to touch on a few things. And safety is the reason that we wanted to do these remote inspections. Keeping people from being overly in contact with other people, keeping a safe distance, not knowing how many people have gone through a home. It really kind of puts into question how safe an inspection is. So safety being our first priority. As you can see with our document here, we put safety as the top of the list item. And the supers are typically on site. They're carrying a hammer, they're carrying all kinds of tools, but what they're probably not used to is carrying a checklist and having a phone in their hand where somebody's telling them where to walk. So we wanted to, when I opened the conversation with all of the builder representatives, I make sure that they do a site walk, clear any possible tripping hazards, do a little site survey, and make sure that it is safe to continue with the inspection first and foremost. We share this with all of our affiliates to make sure that they have the proper PPE, and don't want them to put themselves in any kind of compromising position. So that's first at the top of the list. We make sure all of that is checked off.
Yeah, those are really good points. Thank you, Michael. So assuming the site is safe, our inspection process really doesn't look dramatically different than if you were performing the inspection yourself. The coordination and scheduling of the visit remains generally intact. The only difference is after that window of scheduling a time and date, you're not arriving on site. We need to have what we're terming a builder representative on site. And what this individual needs to have is a general knowledge of construction details. Some familiarity would be great with the SystemVision checklist. We would also like them to have an ability to document their site visit. Ideally, that would be through a video platform. There are several that are freely available, but sometimes connection can be an issue, and we understand that. We can empathize there. So at the very least, you should be able to give them a buzz, and they should have a camera so that they can document all of the compliant and non-compliant details during this site visit. So we're asking for a few things, right? We're asking for the builder representative to take a picture of the front elevation and the building plans. And this is to confirm that the house in the as-built form matches the plan type. So we know what we're working with, right? We would also like to have any modifications from the plan type documented. We often see that there are optional storage rooms, or sometimes there's a change order for windows, or any number of things. So any modifications or deviations from the plans, we would like some form of picture documentation, some indication of the as-built home. For the purpose of this initial inspection, let's say we're doing a framing and insulation walk. So we would love it if the builder representative has that checklist in front of them. And as the rater, what I need to have is the checklist as well. Also a set of building plans. So the concept as a rater would be to virtually walk through the house with the builder representative. And while looking at the plans, identifying some of the pain points that are common in the construction process. And when I say that, I'm thinking about, does a typical wall assembly have grade 1 insulation where there are no voids, misalignments, or compressions? Are penetrations to the top plate air sealed with foam, fire caulk, or some sort of similar material? Are there HVAC chases? Are there plumbing walls? Are there these items that are critical to the success of the program in terms of air sealing, insulation, or proper air barriers? We see there's a set of plans up here. So as I'm walking through the house, I'm going to be directing the builder representative where to go and what to document. And in terms of documentation, I would really like to see every item on the SystemVision checklist documented. And that's to confirm what their eyes are telling them, but also to catch any items that we may miss in the initial pass. I know that when I'm doing a video call, there are times when I miss things. We're all human. We don't anticipate that we're going to be able to catch everything on the first go. And especially if you're on the phone, you want to make sure that you're getting a lot of pictures. So as we go through, we'll document all passing and failing items. We'll put it into a corrective work order if there's anything that is relevant. And then we will ask the builder representative to upload all that documentation and send it over to the rater, ideally within 24 hours. That way, the inspection is fresh on everyone's mind. We're making sure that we're properly documenting everything, and we're getting all of that information into the database. Did we catch everything there, Michael? Is there anything you'd like to add on the framing and insulation side of the inspection process?
Yeah, no, I think you covered everything pretty well. We have minimum rated features we're looking at with every house, in addition to our SystemVision standards. And fortunately, a lot of the affiliates we're working with are seasoned to our process. So we've been able to go over quite a few times the proper way through continuing training to get the outcome that we want. We ideally will be able to perform these remote inspections for this specific amount of time to get a really good product out of these homes. I think it'll also be a bit of a good training exercise for our builders, the supers, and all of our affiliates to see that we are still committed to helping them continue to work towards their goals.
That's a really good point. Yeah. And I do want to touch on the final inspection process as well, because there are items as energy raters that are pretty technical in nature. And I'm thinking specifically of performance testing. We do not have the expectation that a builder representative will have the knowledge, skills, or abilities to run a blower door test or to measure the exhaust CFM of a bath fan. So what we're asking at this time is for the builder representative to document all items unrelated to performance testing at the final stage of construction in order to receive SystemVision certification. We understand that we're encouraging at this point, if we go through the final inspection process, that the homeowner have the ability to move into the home. And at a later date, when it is safe for us and them to have this performance testing performed, then we will go in and we will run a blower door and we will run a duct blaster test and we will measure the bath fan CFM. But at this time, we do not feel it's safe to expose our network of raters to that process. And so we're just going to have to punt for now until it is safe. In the meantime, though, the homeowner will receive the SystemVision certification. They will also receive the energy and comfort guarantee. We think that this is a critical time for affordable housing, and any homeowner that moves in should receive and will receive the SystemVision guarantee.
Yeah, and that's a huge aspect of this entire thing is, affordable housing being the crisis it is, even more so going forward after, the dust clears on everything right now. We want to be able to guarantee that person moving in there can afford that house. We want it to be their forever home if possible. And we want them to be able to know what to expect from an electric bill if they've got budgeting to do that may be different than it is currently. So that's a huge, that's a great point, Tommy, and it's a huge aspect of how SystemVision has had its biggest impact over the last 20 years.